Alright, welcome back. Today we are going to be running a Sansha Tier 10 DeadSpace Anomaly. It's been 3 years since I did a DeadSpace, so yeah, I don't know what to expect, but this time I'll be flying a carrier. Back then, the best ship that I used to have was a faction cruiser. Now this isn't my carrier, so I am not really allowed to show you the build and the rigs, but the Archon has been performing really well, and I'm kind of thinking whether I should buy a carrier that I will use or if I should save the ISK. I honestly have no idea what to do, but I haven't been finding the revelation in a while. I actually had to change some of my skills, and I think I had to change some of my capital laser skills. I did pull them back on the skill training list, but right now kind of skilled out of capital lasers. But you know, I'll be skilling back in the next couple days, since I did have to take some skill points out to put them into the frigate skills. But after a week or so, the capital laser skills should be back where they used to be. But I also have carrier skills nearly maxed out. I don't know what to do with the... I don't know what carrier to actually get if I decide to get one. I know a super carrier will be a good idea, but they're too expensive, and I don't really have a place where I can park them. So yeah, a lot of things have to be decided, but for now let's just go and let's run this DeadSpace. Now, a carrier is known to have some very nasty DPS, and overall in deep null carriers are players' favorites. Well, actually, they used to be.
Warp drive active.
Now, I hear super carriers are players' favorite, but you know, not everyone can afford a super carrier, so the carrier, the classic carrier, is still the choice that a lot of players like to take when they are running the special sites. Now, besides a DeadSpace, in one of the next videos, we are going to be running a capital rally point. Sansha Capital Rally Point, something like that. I don't really know the full name, but it has a lot of capital ships, and that one was actually quite interesting. The way those anomalies are cleared is very interesting, and I haven't been doing any capital anomaly up until like yesterday, so it would be a first time for me. In any case, we are at the entrance. Now, the DeadSpace has 3 rooms, and each room has 3 different spawns, or should I say 3 different waves. So total of 3 rooms, each room has 3 spawns, so total of 9 spawns. The main target, or should I say the main loot, is going to be elite Sansha ships, or in this case I think they're called Loyal Nightmare. They are quite tanky, they're fast as well, but they have the chance to drop some very juicy stuff, so it will be fun to see how it will go. Now, you have a couple ways on how to approach the anomaly so far that I've been told. You have the trick where you can land, basically place a bookmark 270 kilometers away from each wave, and then you just warp towards the location and basically snipe. Now, as you can see, judging by my build, I'm definitely not going to
Warp
snipe.
drive active.
I am going in close, and I'll be tanking the anomaly. Now, this carrier has a decent tank. I have the thermal circulation implants and a full-on tank build, so it is quite tanky. Now, usually when I fly this carrier, the owner has the carrier built to be a DPS carrier, so it has little to no tank, but it has some very scary DPS. Now I have the bombard implant, the bombard tactics, and I haven't Actually, I have been using it, but most of the time in this carrier I usually go with a tank build, just because uh, I don't really like to fly a capital ship without any tank. It feels kind of wrong in a way, but at the same time this thing has some very nice DPS, especially with the bombs. Now, currently we have 2 carriers, and there's going to be a lot more joining in, since it is basically a free-for-all. Everyone is welcome to join, everyone in the corp is welcome to join running the Anomaly, so there is going to be more players warping in. Hold a second, let me just set as followed. Okay, there we go. Now, tanking a DeadSpace isn't a big problem. You can actually solo this with a Navy battleship, although at the moment I have better skills for a carrier than I have for a Navy battleship. So for now, for me at least, a carrier is definitely the only ship that I have that's able to clear this without a problem. And so far it's doing pretty well. We also have a very nice bounty bonus going on in the system, which I also enjoy quite a bit. Always nice to have a bonus on bounties. Does make the ISK come in quite fast. I have also been running a lot of Inquisitor and Scout anomalies. I have to say, from what I remember, back in the day, the Inquisitors used to... I mean, it was always kind of random, but now I'm actually making a lot of ISK doing industry. Back then, a long time ago, before I even had industry skills, or even before I even thought that I'll be doing industry, I have been mostly selling the blueprints. And now when I think about it, that was a kind of a mistake that I just sold the blueprints. Now, probably not, but I mean, I still made ISK, but I would probably be able to pull out a lot more ISK if I wasn't selling them. But yeah, at the time I wasn't really interested in industry that much. But now I have a lot of very juicy level 3 blueprints that I am slowly turning into modules, and I will be selling them. That's basically the plan. Since I already have a lot of materials, a lot of wrecks, a lot of modules that can be salvaged, reprocessed, and basically turned into materials. I have a lot of that, and I'll be putting all the unnecessary modules into materials to build the blueprints, to build the modules, and then not modules, but modules, rigs, stuff like that, and then I will be selling them on the markets. So far, I mean, I've been making some pretty good ISK lately, not gonna lie. Surprisingly good ISK. I did not expect that it would be this smooth, but for a change, I was actually surprised by what I have seen. Really happy with the ISK so far. It's been awesome, and this is basically just warming up. Will definitely be different when I have to return a carrier, since again this ship is not mine. I'm just using it for a couple of days for now. But I would have to, I guess, make a choice if I want to keep on making ISK. Now, carriers seems to be, I mean, I really like how they work, but I'm not really sure how long it would take me to actually get the ISK back when I get the ship. Now, if I were farming the whole day, I would probably be able to return the ISK in no time. But since I'm also mostly a PvP pilot, I can't really do PvE the whole day. Not really something that I'm able to do it, but not something that I would describe as being fun. I like PvP, and I don't know if I would be able to actually pull off a whole day of ratting. I think I might be able to, but I don't know. It would be funny if I fall asleep and just get killed by the pirate ship, by the NPC ships in the mission, in the Anomaly. I mean, that had been happening to other players. I think you guys probably know a lot of carriers that have died because they fell asleep while playing, and I definitely do not want to be one of them. So yeah, if I were to buy a carrier, I would have to spend basically most of the time recovering the ISK that I put into the carrier. So yeah, not really sure how that will go, but we have cleared the first wave. I have to say the PvE. Now the PvE is honestly very fun. Kind of weird that I say that PvE is fun, but for a change, it is kind of refreshing, honestly, since we have been doing only PvP up until this moment. It is refreshing to do something else for a change, and I'm not complaining. I'm actually having a lot of fun. Doing something different for a change is always fun. Of course, as you guys know, PvP is still my main thing. I love PvP the most, and speaking of PvP, I'm already working on a new video that will be released maybe on weekend, depending on when I get more footage. But let's say you are going to see some Navy frigate action, because why not? I have a lot of ships now, so might as well use them. So we are now going to the next room, the second room. I haven't had the chance to test out my tank. I mean, the tank on this thing is actually really good. It's a Archon. It has a bonus on armor resistance, and I already have some very good carrier skills, so yeah, it will have the maximum bonus unlocked, and of course I have the thermal circulation on top of it, which also does add a lot of tank as well. And pretty happy with the numbers so far. Okay, we are in the second room. I'm a little bit late. My friend does warp really fast. Although I have to say, I mean, it's a... yeah, he is flying the Mimitar carrier. They're fast. The Archon isn't really known for its speed, so I'm okay with that. But this is the second room, and we are already working on blowing up all of these ships. Now, in the future, I will definitely be running these DeadSpace sites solo, since I already have a carrier, so might as well just go run solo, I guess. But I haven't done one of these in a while, and at the time of recording this, I wasn't really sure if they changed anything. But so far, it seems to be pretty chill and seems to be pretty smooth, so I'm not going to complain about that at all. I also thought about using a Nestor over here, but I sold the Nestor that I had because the price of the Nestor went up so much that keeping it wasn't really an option. I mean, that thing became like Dreadnought level expensive now, which is wild. If you, I'll give you one advice now, since it is kind of already out there that wormhole space is going to be added in the game at one point. If you have a Nestor, I would say save the Nestor and wait for the wormhole patch to be out, for the wormhole space patch to be out, since the Nestor still has the traits that make the ship really good for wormhole space, for actual wormhole space. So their price and their usability, I'd say, would be really high when the actual wormhole space is out, since it has a very good scanner, performs really well, the best scanner in the game. It's tanky, it has drones, it has everything you need. So I believe its price might actually hit about 25 to 35 billion when the wormhole space is out. So the Nestor and all the Sister of Eve ships will gain a lot of traction when wormhole space is released, since they are going to be basically the best ships for it. Of course, could happen that we will get some other ships for exploration. I mean, the Zephyr, if you ever saw that ship, might be added in this game as well at one point as a special edition frigate. There's also the Enceladon, I believe, that's something like that was called. It was a very weird looking ship, also a ship made for exploring wormholes. A Evoline ship could also be added in this game as well. I mean, the developers have surprised us with this beautiful update. Also, definitely one of the best updates so far. And who knows? I mean, they are doing wild things lately, so it's gonna be fun to see what's the next. I mean, kind of already know what's the next big thing. The wormhole space, basically. I believe that's the next thing. And Young faction being fully released. Now, on topic of big things, I have no idea when Titans will be out. If everything goes the way it is going, if they end up releasing wormhole space next, then Titans are coming sometime next year. That's what I expect at the moment. But for now, if they go with the actual wormhole space, I'd rather have wormhole space than Titans, to be honest. So I'm pretty happy so far with how things have been in the last couple updates. Now, looks like I am their primary target now. All of these ships are shooting at me, but the armor is holding. Now, the Sansha ships are using lasers, and thankfully I am a armor tank. I have one reactive, which does help a lot at reducing the incoming damage from these ships. So tanking this is definitely not a big problem. I can easily maintain the armor, and I can easily maintain the capacitor as well. Not a big problem. This Archon is pretty tanky. I like it. Tanky, and it still has very good DPS. Now, I could have went with the easier way and go full DPS and basically snipe, although I didn't feel like making the 260 kilometer bookmark every jump, so I thought it was just faster to go and yeet directly and just face tank the whole DeadSpace Anomaly. So far, it's been working really well. And since I'm a pilot who's known to fly tanky ships, trunks, really tanky capital ships, this Archon is also quite tanky. It also has a nanocore, so my friend definitely went all out on the Archon, and I have to say, he built a very nice ship. I really like the Archon, and his build that he's using is also really solid. Now, this is not the build that this ship came with. I changed the build so that I have a bit more tank while running the DeadSpace, since, you know, I'm flying someone else's ship, and I better not scratch the paint, since that's gonna be one expensive repair if that happens. So yeah, let's not do stupid things with a shit that doesn't belong to me. Although, have I ever crashed someone else's ship? I think I haven't. No, I haven't crashed anyone else's ship so far. Famous last words, I know. However, I had pilots and friends crash my ships. That was kind of funny. Basically, I remember giving a RB, and the RB died. Then I remember, I think I gave a battleship to someone, and they yeeted it at the gate camp or something. I forgot. Hold on a sec. One of the ships I sold, was it the Spaceman? No, wait, hold on a second. What ship was it? I think the Spaceman. I think the Spaceman. Yeah, it was the Spaceman. One of the ships that I recently sold got yeeted a couple days after it was sold. Actually, it wasn't a couple days. Couple weeks after I sold it, it got yeeted. Kind of funny. And it was yeeted in a gate camp, which is also double hilarious. But it's fine. I got the ISK, so that's what matters in the end. So, we are clearing this wave as well. I don't know which, I actually forgot what that space is the hard. I think Blood Raiders might be the hardest. Either Blood Raider or Angel. I think Angels are nasty since they are very fast. Yeah, Angel ships, Angel rats are really fast. And they could have been a problem, but thankfully this is Angel space, so we get Angel DeadSpace sites. It's kind of funny, since I remember stumbling upon a lot of DeadSpace sites on my exploration roams, and now I actually have the ship for the next couple days, so I might be able to just easily run them. And I'm very happy with how it's been performing so far. But still, the performance is really good, but there is also a lot of other factors that I just have to include, because I can't easily, I can't just ignore some aspects of buying a carrier. If things go wrong and if we no longer can be in the same system, moving that ship can be a pain, unless of course wormhole space gets released and then the carrier just simply disappears in a wormhole, never to be seen again. That would be the best. I think that would be the best course of action, actually. It really depends on when wormholes are released. If we do get, wormhole space, wormholes are out. Wormholes do exist. Wormholes do exist. I always forget that. It's kind of weird. But actual wormhole space, it really depends on when wormhole space is released. If it does get released within the next couple months, I might go and get a carrier. I might go and get a carrier. But if it doesn't get released in the next couple months, then I might wait until it gets released. So yeah, a lot of things to include.
Warp drive active.
Hopefully it does happen very soon. One of the things that I expect to happen with the drone lands, when they add the other regions in the next big update, I would say they will open a lot more wormholes to spawn around space, and I think that will make exploration a lot easier, since at the moment getting inside Cobalt Edge is nearly impossible unless you're part of those big corps and big alliances that hold them. So when the other drone regions are released, then a lot of other wormholes will start popping all over the game, and then exploring them is going to be much more enjoyable and much easier. So, well, this patch was good. It will be even better when the rest of the drone region is released, which should happen quite soon, actually, and I'm excited for it. and then of course it's going to be a bit more difficult to control all points when there is about 100 different wormholes all over the place. And again, that will make exploration of Cobalt Edge a lot more enjoyable and a lot easier. Right now, it is fun. Right now, I'll say this: it is fun, but it is very difficult to get in, and the camps are real. There's literally, like, from the last intro that I've seen, there's only one like entrance that is not camped, and it is not camped because it doesn't basically lead anywhere. It's a wormhole that connects two different low-tech systems that are across the galaxy. And one thing that I also noticed with the wormholes, you can actually use them to transport, to traverse long distances in mere minutes. There is a wormhole currently active that reduces 75 jumps to 3 jumps. You jump from one system to the wormhole system, and then that wormhole system leads to the other end of the galaxy. And I love the fact that it made transporting stuff so much easier, but at the same time, you have to survive that space inside, since it is camped. There is dreadnoughts there at the moment, so yeah, I wouldn't be going there with. I would not be going there with a transport ship just yet, of course, but at one point it will not be that dangerous. Again, the thing that needs to happen, the other drone systems have to be opened, and then it is going to be much easier to explore everything. Okay, well, we are clearing this wave.
Enemy ships detected.
Wave 2 out of 3. That's a very nice carrier fleet that we have there. A lot of bling flying around me. Very nice that we have these carriers in the DeadSpace. Actually, I might for the next DeadSpace I might reduce the tank a little bit and add more DPS. Might even go with the 260 kilometer trick. No other special site spawn. Okay. The rally points are also very easy to run. I was very surprised when I actually saw how easy it is to clear them. And I'm not complaining. Was honestly a very chill and a very enjoyable run. Was also very profitable. Now at this rate, I don't know how much it will actually take for me to get enough E's for a super carrier, since their price does kind of go up and down all the time at the moment, and I don't really know how much. I think they cost about 1.2, 1.3 trillion ISK. Yeah, that's a lot of zeros after that 1.2. That's a lot of zeros there. So definitely would be a big project if I were to go and decide to grind long enough to get one of these big ships. As for the faction dreadnoughts, would it be worth to have a faction dreadnought? I have no idea, since we already have the super capitals and they melt. They easily melt the the faction dreadnoughts, unless the faction dreadnoughts are something similar to the versatile assault ships, which have really good tank. So maybe if they decide to do something funny with those faction dreadnoughts just to make them tankier, then maybe I'd be interested in that. But at the moment I have no idea. I would actually, if anything, I would save ISK for the new ships that will be added for the future releases, for the young ships, for example. Since it is already kind of obvious that young will be released. Now when the test server is updated, I will be flying that Hanyu Assault Logi or whatever it is called. That ship is wild. I have never. That's the most unique ship in.
We're under attack.
That's the most unique ship in the game at the moment. It is interesting that it can fit it can fit large repair drones, which is awesome, and it also has DPS bonus, I believe.
Attack.
So that's kind of funny. I have no idea how it will perform. Since it has large drones, technically it means you can fit large drones on it, and if it has a bonus on that, you can technically use the bombarding plant on that thing. I have some crazy ideas with it already. That I will definitely put to use. I have no idea how much IP it costs. I think it's like 3.8, around 3.8 billion ISK, I believe. That was the IP cost of that thing. Kind of funny. So this is probably this is the last wave, I believe. We have cleared this really fast. I mean, why am I surprised? 4 carriers running a DeadSpace, running a tier 10 DeadSpace. I mean, you can easily run this without carriers. A battleship can solo this most likely. I mean, not most likely, definitely can. So yeah, definitely a fun thing to do. I haven't really enjoyed PvE as much as I am doing it now. PvE is definitely fun after. I mean, when you try something new, it has that fresh feeling to it, you know. And I'm honestly very happy with how things are going so far. The new content definitely made the game feel fresh. It did change a lot of things as well, for the better, of course. So the next updates are going to be very, very interesting. I'll be following the next updates and I'll update you if I find out something, and if I'm, of course, if I'm free to share it, you know, since there are some things that are under the non-disclosure agreements, and you know, I like to you know, break that. It's not a very nice thing to do, you know. So if I can share something out, I definitely will, as you guys know. But man, this was actually this was a very smooth run. The tank on this thing held out really well. I'm very happy with the tank of this Archon. If I ever do get a carrier, it is definitely going to be a tanky one. Although I don't know if it's going to be a PvE carrier, then DPS. If it's going to be a multi-purpose one, then probably tank. But yeah, this was a very nice run. So hope you guys have enjoyed this little DeadSpace Anomaly run. Was something fresh. Haven't done a DeadSpace in 3 years, so yeah, went better than I have expected. And the loot reward, the ISK, was nice, definitely very profitable, and besides that, it was also fun. And with that being said, hope you guys had fun as well. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.